A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review. Now, it's no secret to anyone that knows me that I am a huge fan of the X-Men franchise. When I started collecting comics back in the 90s, I gravitated towards X-Men primarily because of the animated TV show, but also just because I loved the concept of kind of like human mutant hysteria. Still enjoyed books like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, of course, the Avengers and all that. But X-Men was where my true passion kind of was with when it came to comic book collecting. Now, thankfully, I started collecting in the 90s where we had some of the greatest X-Men events to come out of comic books. We had the Age of Apocalypse. We had, well, kind of Age of Apocalypse. We had Fatal Attractions, the very famous story where Magneto infamously rips Wolverine's adamantium out of his body. And we had the Onslaught saga. The Onslaught saga, for those of you that don't know, was a huge mega event that crossed over with, you had all your X-Men titles, so X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, Excalibur, X-Factor. You had crossovers with the Avengers, Fantastic Four. There was Spider-Man crossovers, and this was in the middle of the Clone Saga as well, so you had that kind of going on off to the side. And basically Onslaught was this mega powerful psychic being whose basic desire was to kind of just decimate everything, humans especially. And the X-Men, of course, had to fight him, but then other heroes get caught up in the whole thing. I didn't have every comic in the Onslaught kind of saga. That would have just been way too expensive at the time, but I had all the key ones, which were primarily the X ones, like X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, all those kind of things. I didn't have any of the Spider-Man ones. I didn't have any of the Avengers or the Fantastic Four. I wasn't collecting them back in the day. Thankfully, they went ahead and released the complete Onslaught saga in 4 graphic novels. And today I'm going to be looking at the complete epic Onslaught saga, Volume 1, collecting X-Men 53-54, Uncanny X-Men 334-335, Fantastic Four 414-415, Avengers 400-401, Onslaught X-Men Cable 34, and Incredible Hulk 444. Get a lot in this graphic novel. There are going to be massive spoilers for the story, just because it's impossible to review this without spoiling who or what Onslaught was and what happens to a lot of the characters. So let's just get straight into it with another episode of Okay, so this is volume 1 of the complete epic Onslaught saga. So I would recommend pouring yourself a drink, strapping yourself in, because it is going to be a hell ride from here. There's going to be action, there's going to be adventure, there's going to be a ton of sexual tension. Trust me on this one. So when we start the book, we get pretty much previously what's been going on with all of the X-Men. So we got Bishop going on about stuff and Wolverine stuff and Onslaught stuff and blah, 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 blah. So it's just to fill everyone in. So we start in the clutches of Onslaught. Jean Grey is spending the weekend going shopping. She's reading the minds of all the people in the store. And then suddenly she is dragged into the astral plane by Onslaught. Fantastic double-page spread there. Onslaught is basically trying to recruit her. He's talking about the hypocrisy of humanity. And she's kind of not buying it. So then we cut to Beast. Beast is chained up in an abandoned warehouse. He has been replaced by an evil version of himself from the Age of Apocalypse timeline. If that's as crazy as it sounds, it's only going to get worse. The evil doppelganger of Beast is basically secreted himself inside the X-Men, and this Beast is trying to find a way to escape. We then jump across to Onslaught, showing Jean Grey the 1996 presidential campaign of Graydon Creed. Graydon Creed, of course, being the human son of the mutants Mystique and Sabretooth. Don't ask me how that works. I don't have a clue. The campaign manager of Graydon Creed is basically saying, I don't care. He's running on a platform of anti-mutants. And this guy's like, mutants, humans, I just want to be a kingmaker. And Onslaught's trying to prove that that is hypocrisy. Then we get Archangel Warren Worthington and Betsy Braddock, Psylocke, in Colorado at his mountain estate. Warren Worthington III, of course, being insanely rich. Previously to this, Psylocke had been exposed to the Crimson Dawn, and it's having an adverse effect on her. She's having nightmares, and then suddenly they're attacked by the Juggernaut, as you know from my previous X-Men video, the Kieran Gillian one. Juggernaut, one of my all-time favorite villains. They can't help him, so he has a secret that he can't unlock, and they can't help him, so he decides, you know what, I'm just going to go to Westchester, where Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters is. My stepbrother should be able to help me. Then Onslaught takes Jean Grey to go inside the professor's mind. Jean Grey's like, why are you even showing me this? The professor and I have a very unique bond. And because at one point, apparently, Professor Xavier was in love with Jean Grey, but never told her. That is at least what Onslaught wants her to believe, not that it matters anymore. This is Joseph, or as you know him, Eric Lenscher, or as you know him even further still, Magneto. Prior to the Onslaught saga, Magneto had ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine's body during the Fatal Attractions storyline, and in retaliation, Professor Xavier mind-wiped him. So he has no idea who he is. And then he comes to this fair with a Colonel Sanders-looking guy offering him fried chicken. Not sure what that's about. Back on the astral plane, Onslaught is trying to get Jean Grey to accept the Phoenix Force again. And she basically tells him, no, piss off. And then suddenly she is back in the clothing store where she is found by the staff with one word in her mind, Onslaught. Then we move on to the Uncanny X-Men, where Juggernaut has come to the mansion. And he basically breaks the cameras and the sensors and things. And this gets Gambit and Bishop to go and investigate. Gambit and Bishop have a very kind of rocky past. Bishop, of course, is a mutant from the future who has come back in time because the X-Men have a traitor. He believes that traitor is Remy LeBeau, as we know Gambit. So they're a little bit frosty at this point. Cyclops is in the danger room training when Jean Grey, who is his wife, at this point, kind of tells him that something is wrong. Warren and Betsy try to contact the mansion but can't. Sam Guthrie, who is Cannonball, has decided he is not fit to be an X-Man and he wants to quit the team. Professor Xavier basically tells him, you know, do whatever you want. Fuck off if you want to fuck off. Just stop bothering me. I've got other things to worry about. Not in those words, but you know what I'm talking about. So Gambit and Bishop get attacked by Juggernaut. They cannot stop him, and he drags their bodies away. Beast, the doppelganger Beast, of course, is running tests on Wolverine. Wolverine has kind of gone feral at this point. Bobby Drake, Iceman, is asking him what's wrong. The doppelganger can't believe how intelligent the actual Beast was. They rely on him for everything. And then kind of Wolverine buggers off. Storm and Cannonball have a little bit of a back and forth. Here we have Graydon Creed meeting Bastian. Bastian is going to become a key villain in the future of the X-Men. And I believe he is a Sentinel. It's been a long time since I've read this, so don't hold me on that. But I think he was a version of the Sentinel Nimrod. Jean Grey finds the bodies of Bishop and Gambit. And Juggernaut is there, and she's like, what have you done? Blah, blah, blah. And Juggernaut's like, listen, you're the only person that can help me. You're the only one I trust. There's something in my head, and I need you to get it out. And as a sign of faith, he takes off his helmet. The Juggernaut's helmet, of course, protects him from psychic attacks. Cyclops and Professor X kind of have a moment, as they always do. And then Jean Grey leads Juggernaut to the chamber beneath the school where Professor Xavier once faked his own death to prevent an alien invasion of the Earth, and Jean Grey was the only person that he told that secret to. The secret revealed. I had all of these single issues, by the way, back when I was a kid. Sam is watching the Professor through the window, basically lamenting on getting his ass chewed out by him, and Cyclops is like, oh, we've all been there, you know, we've all had that talk with him. At this point, Gambit and Bishop have gotten Wolverine, Storm, and the Doppelganger Beast because they know that Juggernaut is somewhere on the premises. And so all the X-Men kind of mobilize to find him, whereas Jean takes him down into this chamber to try and sort out what's going on, but he left the chamber open. That is not a good thing. She reads his mind, she gets through his defenses, discovers the secret of Onslaught. So they're just kind of hunting for Juggernaut. Beast manages to escape his confinement, but then he is approached by someone. Cyclops rushes to the Professor to let him know. The Professor is looking at images of Franklin Richards, who is the mutant son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm of the Fantastic Four. The harder that she tries to look in Juggernaut's mind, the more difficult it becomes. And then at this point, Professor Xavier is kind of lamenting all the failures that he has come up against. Mutants that have been murdered, things like that. And then his mind just snaps. She realizes Jean Grey. She knows who Onslaught is. Juggernaut kind of freaks out. And then Onslaught gets his hands on Juggernaut and rips the power of the ruby, the Crimson Ruby of Sidorak out of his chest, killing him. And then the X-Men are mobilized. Professor X has all called them to his office. To be continued in X-Men Onslaught. This was one of the best comic books when it first came out. But we have a little interlude with the Fantastic Four. Franklin Richards has a new playmate called Charlie. I wonder who that is. And then the X-Man. This was a character from the Age of Apocalypse storyline who has immensely powerful ties to the psychic plane, goes to the Avengers because he also knows who Onslaught is at this point. That cover is phenomenal. That was the X-Men Onslaught cover. Absolutely loved it as a kid. Jean Grey sends out a message for help. She calls all the other X teams. And then we kind of go back a little bit. We have all of the X-Men here. Iceman, Cannonball, Beast, Wolverine, Gambit, Bishop, Storm, Phoenix, and Cyclops. They all mobilize in the Professor's office in this just gorgeous splash page there. And Jean Grey is trying to not let on that she knows who Onslaught actually is. So they all talk, and the Professor is basically saying, you know, we've got to do things a little differently now. They disagree with that. And then Onslaught appears. They fight to absolutely no avail. Onslaught is just way too powerful. And decimates the team completely. So they decide to split up. We get this annoying page here, which 90s comics love to do. They love to make you flip the comic book to read it. It's just annoying. We've talked about that in the past. And then we go to the Fantastic Four headquarters where they're all having breakfast, and Charlie is getting very annoyed with Franklin. And the family can't understand what's kind of happening. The reason Franklin is such an interesting character is his mutant ability. He can actually reshape reality. So he's incredibly powerful. So they split up into teams. Each team kind of goes off looking for Onslaught, doing their own thing. And one by one, Onslaught takes them all out, as you would expect. Back at the Avengers Mansion, we have this roster of Avengers, which is Captain America, Vision, Iron Man, which is not the Tony Stark Iron Man, but a alternate reality Tony Stark Iron Man who's much younger. We have Scarlet Witch, Wasp, Thor, Giant Man, and I believe Quicksilver is part of this roster as well. Pretty strong roster, much stronger than the Under Siege roster. If you watched my video, that was a pretty piss weak one. So Nate has gone off to them. Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Iceman are kind of together. Beast turns traitor and basically says to Onslaught, I'll be your vassal, because he believes Onslaught's powerful. This Beast was once vassal to Apocalypse, so he's kind of like on the winning side. But Onslaught realizes that, or Onslaught lets him know that he was the one that actually kept him hidden from the X-Men this whole time. But Onslaught isn't quite as strong as he needs to be yet. They manage to kind of break him away, where they attack. Some amazing color on these pages. All of the X-Men, there's another one of those. Turn the page and have a look. So all of the X-Men at this point have just gone on the offensive, and they seemingly take him down. Bishop, whose ability is to absorb energy and then fire it back in concussive blasts, kind of takes the full brunt of it. He does survive. Onslaught escapes. And then we have an ominous page of the Sentinel factory there. So Onslaught kind of gets away, and all the X-Men now know that Onslaught is Charles Xavier. Magneto has something to do with it. You just have to look at the armor to know that. Then we move on to the Uncanny X-Men, where we meet Ozymandias, who is the vassal to Apocalypse, who is now woken up. He realizes that there is something terrible going on. This is the end of the Age of Wonders. How does he realize this? Uatu the Watcher is there to observe the decline of humanity. The Avengers come to the X-Men mansion. It's been destroyed. They get out. They meet Gambit and Bishop, who don't quite trust them, and there's a little bit of a kind of back and forth with trust issues and whatnot. And they see the manifestation of Onslaught, thanks to X-Men pulling images out of all the heads of the X-Men. Not confusing at all, X-Men. Wolverine goes a little bit crazy. They kind of have a fight. Moira McTaggart and her team Excalibur on Muir Island get the message or the transmission that Jean Grey sent. They see Onslaught. Colossus is now part of this team, as is Nightcrawler and a few others. Siren, I believe. Gambit and Bishop have kind of a moment. And then we get X-Force coming in. That's Sunspot and Domino. Domino, you remember from the movie Deadpool 2. A great character, and they've agreed to kind of help. Something's going on. Vision and Wolverine have a moment. Wolverine's going off on a hunch, going off by himself as he always does. He now does his Ninja Turtle thing with his mask, which is a little bit weird. Psylocke and Archangel are on their way. But all the teams have basically split up at this point, and they're off to do different missions. And then we have Charles Xavier trapped inside the mind of Onslaught. So we go over to an Avengers issue. This is one that I didn't have, even though it was tied into Onslaught, Phase 1. The Avengers, along with Gambit, are off to find Magneto, who has teamed up with Rogue. Rogue realizes that he is Magneto and is trying to bring him back to the mansion to get him help. At this point, we learn a lot more about Magneto from his daughter and son, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch recounts the time that her and her brother were in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and Magneto, not having revealed that he was their father, kind of tortures them a little bit, but they eventually become Avengers. Rogue and Magneto have a little bit of a comedic moment getting their car fixed, and then the Avengers Quinjet finds them, and they start pretty much going at it straight away until Rogue manages to stop the fight. Joseph using his magnetic abilities in all kinds of cool ways with Captain America's shield. Scarlet Witch, who is no longer afraid of Magneto, realizes that this isn't the same man that was her father, but Quicksilver is going to go and punch his lights out. She uses her probability powers to cause the dock to explode, stopping the fight, and Joseph agrees, I will come back with you, because clearly this has something to do with me, and he's a good person. Of course, Gambit still jealous. Okay, we go to the Fantastic Four now, where Charlie and Franklin are playing. The Fantastic Four come back. That is Reed Richards' father, who has created a suit of armor to handle his son's psionic energy. Professor X goes to visit them and says, listen, your son's a mutant. I want him to come with me. He'll be better off at my school. The Fantastic Four go, fuck off, Baldy. No way, no how. So he turns into Onslaught, and basically they all split up again. Really stupid idea, but they all split up to search for Franklin. We also have a little bit of a love story between the Torch and Leja, I think her name is. We have Crystal from the Inhumans. They get beaten. Ben Grimm gets beaten. Hawkeye's there. He gets beaten. Bishop. Bishop is there as well. Bishop, this was their mission, like Bishop, Hawkeye, and all that. This was their mission. Xavier tricks Bishop, while Apocalypse and the Watcher the Watcher says nothing, but Apocalypse just talks it out. Reed Richards makes his body really kind of tough and beats the crap out of Apocalypse, but ultimately Apocalypse doesn't win. Or does he? We'll find out soon. Then we get Cable. So this is post, I believe, or Ozymandias. Anyway, this guy has been, he's under Morocco, and he has been instructed to basically write the whole story on the walls of this underground temple. Cable is a threat to Onslaught. Cable is the son of Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers, who was infected with a techno-organic virus and sent into the future to save his life. He has now come back. He uses his psychic powers to keep the techno-organic virus at bay, but he is still a threat. So Onslaught has sent someone to kill him, that someone being the Hulk. They fight, of course, and the Hulk is kind of getting the upper hand. He's that much stronger. Great art on the Hulk here. I love how the Hulk looks. And Cable basically forces him away, and in doing so brings out Grey Hulk, otherwise known as Mr. Fix-It. So they fight. G.W. Bridges, who is the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Contessa Valentia de Fontaine, who is also working for S.H.I.E.L.D. You might recognize her, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus in the end of Black Widow, and I believe in Hawkeye. She's in Hawkeye. No, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, same character. So they're kind of up on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. We have Grey Hulk and Cable beating the crap out of each other. Storm comes to assist Cable, manages to revive him. This is where the sexual tension comes in, because it's like a weird Storm Cable sexual tension thing happen. It's very odd. Cable says, listen, you use your lightning bolts and we'll try and fry his synapse. That might bring out Banner, but it doesn't. It just brings out Savage Hulk. And then we go to Apocalypse. Basically saying that this is it. This is going to be the dawn of Apocalypse. This is an amazing page. The Hulk just punching Cable right in the face. And then finally, the Incredible Hulk, where Hulk has Cable and Storm is chasing him. We get this little kind of side story about who is this character? Dark Janice. I don't know who this character is because I wasn't reading the Hulk at the time, but we can see different iterations of the Hulk. This is Maestro. So clearly she has something to do with the lore of the Incredible Hulk. I just don't know what it is. She keeps seeing like these spiritual versions of Hulk. That's cool. Hulk is smashing Cable. Then he sees Betty Page pin up, and he's like, Betty, and it kind of snaps him out of it. Cable goes into his mind and sees that Onslaught is keeping him prisoner there. The Hulk tricks him. Ultimately, in his own head. But, yeah, see, I don't know who any of these people are. So the Hulk tricks him, smashing him down. But Cable manages to break through and they rescue Dr. Banner, and then Hulk is like, you know what, I'm with you. I want to know who this Cable guy is this Onslaught guy is that kind of kept me captive. So the way they do it is they basically kill the Hulk and then revive him with lightning from Storm. And then it's not over yet. And then, of course, we have some pages. So this book, Onslaught, The Complete Saga Volume 1, sets up the story, has pretty much all of the characters. We haven't yet seen X-Factor fully in X-Force, but it does a fantastic job of introducing like one of the greatest villains in X-Men history. I will, of course, be reading and reviewing the other 4 volumes in the Onslaught Epic, so stay tuned for that. Until then, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff you see at the end of the video. Follow us wherever you can. But most importantly, have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, and for the love of all that is holy, read a fucking book, people.